Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. We are with the character Drelm, and this is his third attempt to get through the Sky Pharaoh's throne on level B, scenario 6. And at the Sky Pharaoh's throne, the difficulty of your checks against the Banes that have the Mummy trait are increased by +4. And after you are dealt damage that is not reduced, bury one random card from your discard pile. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Horus. And the first thing we get is the Magma Spirit. Okay, so immune to the fire trait. I do not have the cold trait. Drelm does not have anything in his hand that has the cold trait. So before you act, we're dealt 1 fire damage. Fortunately, we have the crocodile skin Madu in our hand. So we will use that, recharge that to reduce the damage. And then the only thing we have to deal with the Magma Spirit is a whip, D10 plus D6. So we'll just go ahead and do that. We get to add +3 to this roll. So we rolled an 8, 9, 10 plus 3. Okay, that's more than enough. So the Magma Spirit has been banished. Alright, so resetting Drelm's hand. We are now going to advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Khepri. And we get the Lightning Storm. Okay, it's a barrier. It's an obstacle, weather and electricity. Okay, so Drelm does have that thing that helps him out with on your check against a card that has the obstacle trait. You may add your divine skill, but that's really not going to be in effect with this special barrier. So what happens is that we just display it. And while it's displayed, we're going to be taking some damage, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll just stay with that as it is. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's a Blessing of Bastet. We have to deal with the Lightning Storm, so we're going to go ahead and roll a d4. And we roll a 4. So it says, on a 4, banish this barrier. Okay, so actually that worked out. Alright, so we have banished that. We are now going to explore. Ooh, this is pretty interesting. A fighting Crook. Wow, so on your combat check. Wow, so wow, I like this card. Strength melee 9. So, Drelm has melee +3. So D10 plus 3. I'm really tempted to use a Blessing of the Elements on this check. And I'm going to do it. Because I want this card. 2D10. And we are adding 3 to the roll. Alright, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Cool. So we get the Fighting Crook. It goes into our hand. Let's see, what do we want to do? We're going to toss the whip. And we will reset our hand. And now we will advance the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Elements. And we get the Lightning Touch spell. So Drelm, he does not have the Arcane skill, but his intelligence is D6. So let's go ahead and roll that. Okay, and he fails to get that spell. Might have been interesting. Probably not. So now what we're going to do, the hand looks good. Advancing the Blessings deck. It's another Blessing of Bastet. Well, those have been coming up lately. Alright, we get a Quicksand Bunny. So we did not examine this card. So damage dealt by the Bunny may not be reduced. So this is pretty cool. So in my hand, I have they recharge this card to add 1d6 to your check against a card that has a trigger trait. Okay, so the Pharaohs Clansman is going to be coming in useful here. Drelm and the Pharaohs Clansman really haven't been getting along, according to my narration of this whole campaign. So it's only a matter of time before he leaves, before they part ways. As a matter of fact, I really don't know why they had ways to begin with. Alright, Combat 12, I'm going to use the Fighting Crook. So the Fighting Crook says, reveal this card to use your strength or melee skill plus 2d4. Alright, that's pretty cool. If proficient with weapons and the check is to defeat a monster that does not have the incorporeal or ooze trait, you may additionally discard this card. Well, we don't want to discard it, we want to keep it. Alright, so we are recharging the Pharaohs Clansman. We're rolling a d10, 2d4, and a d6 to defeat the Quicksand Bunny. Alright, we roll a 5, and the 3 is 8, 9, 10, 14. And another 4, 18, 19, 20, 21. What a great roll. The Quicksand Bunny in the Sky Pharaohs Throne. He's just hanging out. Okay, looking through the location deck really quick. We still have another. Just looking at Drelm's hand and the cards we've already met. Okay. Advancing the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Elements. We get a Toxic Geyser. Okay, cool. Because I was thinking of tossing the Wings of Horus last, but I'm glad I held on to it. Because we're going to go ahead and use this Wings of Horus on the Toxic Geyser for our dexterity check, which is going to be 2d6. There's no difficulty modifier to increase. So we're just rolling 2d6 and we just need a 5 or higher. I think that's doable. Alright, we rolled a 6, 7, 8, 9. Thanks to the Wing of Horus, which we are now recharging. Okay, Toxic Geyser's gone. So we're going to go ahead and we'll toss a Khopesh, which is in our hand. And we're going to reset our hand. Okay, and we're going to advance the Blessings deck. I'm going to go ahead and use a Cure spell. So D4, so I get to get 3 cards back into my deck. So we are recharging 3 cards back into the deck. So I'm going to shuffle some cards here. And then what we're going to do is, we just did the Cure spell, so now we will go ahead and see if we recharge the Cure spell. So we do successfully recharge the Cure spell. That's always awesome and appreciated. And now we will explore. Okay, we get a Crocodile Skin Shield. Drelm's Constitution Fortitude is D6. Oh, and it falls on the floor. So D6, we rolled a 6. Okay, he'll add that to his hand. We're going to toss an Explorer Staff and we'll toss the shield. We are resetting our hand to 5. And what we're going to do now is we are going to advance the Blessings deck. And we're going to explore. Okay, there's a Desert Trapper in the Sky Pharaohs Throne. So no difficulty to defeat modifier. So we can only play 1 card. Well, we're going to go ahead and just use our Fighting Crook, which is the D10 plus 2d4. I think that'll be more than enough to defeat this menace. So, wow, so we rolled a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, 7 on the dot. Ouch, look at those low rolls. Well, at least the Desert Trapper is gone. We still keep all of our stuff. We're going to toss 2 items. Because what we want to do, actually, yeah, we'll toss 2 items, and what we're going to do is we are going to reset our hand, and now we're going to advance the Blessings deck. Okay, and now we get a Hyena, so it's a trigger. We did not examine this card, so what we're going to do now is, it's just a straight up combat 9. We'll do our Fighting Khopesh. D10, 2d4. Alright, so we rolled a 9, 10, 11, 12. Our grand total is 15. The Hyena is gone. Looking at the hand, we are going to, it's looking pretty good actually. So I think the hand we're just going to keep. We are going to advance the Blessings deck, which is a Curse of Poisoning. It's the last card in the Blessings deck, and the last card in the Location deck is the Villain, or the Widow and Dearly Departed. So what we're going to do now, so we got the Curse of Poisoning, and now we have to deal with Widow and Dearly Departed. Okay, so what we have a few options in our hand, which are going to help out. So the few options that we have in our hand, we have the Fighting Crook. Well, to deal with this, so first of all, it's a human sorcerer, and we have to do a Charisma Diplomacy. So no difficulty modifier there. Okay, so what we're going to do, it's a Charisma Diplomacy 10. Unfortunately, this is where Drelm is going to have some trouble, because his Charisma Diplomacy, I should say either one is just a D6. So we are using a Blessing of the Elements. So we're going to be rolling 2d6 on this check, and we need to roll high. Alright, so we rolled a 5, 10, And okay, so we did it. So we successfully did the check to defeat, the charisma, the diplomacy. Okay, so we made that. Now we have, so dearly departed, who is a mummy, so he's a +4 modifier to defeat. Let's see. He's immune to mental and poison. So in our hand here, we just have the fighting Crook. So this time we're going to use our strength through melee plus 2d4, and we are going to discard to add our dexterity skill. And we have to reveal an armor. Okay, after the check, reveal an armor. Well, we should be able to do that because we have this in our hand. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and use all these shenanigans with the fighting Crook. Assembling our dice is a d10, 2d4, and our dexterity. So basically, the dexterity is, well, our dexterity is just a d6. Alright, so that's it. So just all these dice, we're adding 3 to the results. Let's see what we get. Alright, so roll a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus 3 is 6. So, and wow, how about that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and we needed an 18. I could use this to make it a 17, but as it is, so we will go ahead and make it a 17, but that's not enough. So as it is, we have to then, so we take 1 point of damage, so we can go ahead and use the Scarab Buckler then to recharge that so we don't take any damage. But what's going on now is that this is the final card in the Blessings deck, this was the final card in the Locations deck, and we did not succeed in destroying Widow and Dearly Departed. So once again, Drelm is going to have to redo this scenario for a 4th time. So interesting, very a deadly adversary here on level 1. In future campaigns I might have to tone this down, but it's interesting. It was close. We finally did the charisma check, but didn't do that. Alright, well, I will have another go through this scenario next time for you. Thanks for watching.